Welcome to Looking at Legal Stuff. Today we have 3 hearings with a couple where Mom filed an ex parte motion to stop Dad's parenting time after she became concerned about Dad's homelessness and suspected drug use. She claims he was evicted from his parents' home, now has a PPO between him and his parents, has no money for food for the children, has no reliable transportation, and he left evidence of drug use in her house. She wants him to prove he's clean and has somewhere to live before visitation resumes. Dad makes some wild accusations and blames Mom for everything that's gone wrong for him, including the eviction from his parents, and claims that the drug test will prove he's clean. Let's see what the referee thinks.
Take up file 2020-57126. It's the matter of Kaylin Lattin and Richard Lattin, and this is the day and time set for hearing in this matter. Ex parte order was signed by Judge Dykman on January 20th. Denying the order that was submitted, but granting the plaintiff mother extended parenting time, suspending the dependent father's parenting time until further order of the court, directing Mr. Lattin to submit to a hair follicle drug test, and setting the matter for expedited proceedings today. Both parties are here. Ms. Lattin with counsel. Ms. Korndike's here on her behalf. And matter is set for, well, 1:15, but everybody's here, so we'll proceed. I guess, Ms. Korndike, this is your motion on behalf of your client. How do you want to proceed today?
I'd like to take some testimony from my client, Your Honor.
Okay. Ma'am, raise your right hand. You swear or affirm any testimony you give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay.
Miss Lattin, how many children do you have with the other party?
2.
And prior to the ex parte, what was your parenting time arrangement?
5 days on, 2 days off. So it was a 5-2 schedule.
Okay. And were there any special provisions for that parenting time to occur for the other party?
Yes, the parenting time was stated that it was supposed to be done at his parents' house.
When did you find out that the parenting time was not occurring at the home of the defendant, or the home of the defendant's parents, excuse me?
That began back at some point in October.
Okay. Did you allow any sort of accommodations for the defendant to still exercise his parenting time?
Yes, I allowed Richard to come into my home with the children. I would leave while he was there. I also would allow him to spend the evening at my house with the children overnight, and I would go to a hotel or find other accommodations for myself and my infant for the evening.
And approximately how long were you allowing the parenting time to occur in your own home?
Approximately 2 months or so. I'm not sure of an exact time frame.
Okay. And do you know the reason why the defendant could not have the parenting time at his parents' house?
He was evicted from his parents' house.
What happened on the parenting time that led you to file this ex parte?
On Tuesday, before the order was filed, Richard stated he wanted to see the children, so he come over to my house. He was supposed to watch Maisie that day. I did not have childcare for her that day at the daycare. He was supposed to arrive and pick her up and then leave. Once he arrived, his vehicle began having issues, so he was not able to leave in his vehicle that he arrived in. So I had given him permission to stay at the house with her until a ride got there to pick them 2 up. And then I left for work. Richard ended up staying at the home with Maisie the entire time I was at work that day. That evening when I arrived home, I explained that he wasn't going to stay the night. He wasn't going to stay there with me and the children, that he could go. And at that time, he stated the kids wanted to be with him. So rather than having an argument ensue, I allowed him to leave with the children on my parenting time. He then broke down on the side of the road at 8:40 in the evening with my children, with no heat, no nothing, called me very upset that the car was broke and that him and the kids needed picked up. I stated that I would come pick the kids up, but I was refusing to allow him to come back to the home with me, and that I was just going to pick him up. To avoid confrontation, I had my father go pick up the children from him on the side of the road. That way there wasn't an issue in front of the children.
At that time, did you find anything else in your home that led you to be concerned?
So when I arrived that day back home after work with Luke and my youngest child, I have an infant that is not Richard's. I noticed the house had an odd burnt smell to it. Upon further examination, when I walked into the bathroom, I found my bathroom window open, which was cracked. It's January. There's no reason for the bathroom window to be open. And then there was ashes laying on top of my garbage can that was in the bathroom.
And how do you know that those ashes weren't simply from a cigarette?
I do not smoke cigarettes, nor does anybody smoke cigarettes in my house.
Okay. Does the defendant smoke cigarettes?
No, not to my knowledge. He uses chewing tobacco.
Okay. Can you describe the odor more specifically?
A burnt rubber smell is the closest way I can put it. Like hot super glue, maybe.
Is this a smell you had ever smelled before in your home?
Not in my home, no.
Is this a smell you've ever smelled before?
Yes, I have had this or smelt this before on Richard, on himself, and within his vehicle.
Has he ever provided any explanation to you about what that smell is?
No, I haven't ever required an explanation for it, I guess. I have never asked.
And why do you believe then that the defendant is utilizing methamphetamine?
His behavior, he has become irrational when it comes to certain things. He is not taking care of himself physically. He has went downhill with his hygiene. He is not able to obtain a job. There is several factors that lead me to believe he is using methamphetamine again.
Was this a problem with the defendant in the past?
Yes, unfortunately.
Is he exhibiting some of the same signs that you had noticed in the past?
Yes. And that was my main concern. His body odor smell when he was using previously, it was very distinct, and that has returned.
To the best of your knowledge, does the defendant have anywhere to reside with the children?
No. And which is my concern, is when he has the children for his parenting time, I do not know where my children are going. I do not know if there's food in the house. I don't know who they are around, which makes me uncomfortable as a mother with the situation he is in right now.
Since entry of the order, has the defendant provided to you any sort of drug test?
Not to me, no. He has tried to contact me and asked to see the children. I have ignored him.
What would you like to see the court do?
I would like the court to continue with the order as it is now until Richard is able to provide a safe place for the children to go has a job and a working vehicle in order. He has no safe transportation for the children. He doesn't have a job to support the children. When he left that Tuesday, he was taking food from my cupboards to feed the children when he left.
Would you also like to see negative drug screens?
Yes, most certainly.
Would you be opposed to allowing the defendant some sort of supervised parenting time?
At this time, yes, because I would like Richard to do the things he needs to do before he sees the children again. I need some motivation, unfortunately. He was supposed to get a job, get his own place and a vehicle when we settled in divorce court back in 2022 in March. And it's been almost a year now, and he has not been able to obtain a job. He has not obtained his own place to live. And the car he had, he ran into the ground until it blew up on the side of the road.
And that's the car that you had to go pick up the children from? Okay.
My father went and picked up the children from him,
Right.
yes.
Yes. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Sir, do you have any questions for Ms. Lattin?
Oh, absolutely, sir. Also for the record, I have my father sitting here with me as well.
That's fine.
Now that Tuesday, I recall I had gotten pulled over in the driveway, and the police officer told me that that vehicle is not allowed to leave the premises. I was coming there to watch my daughter, and I would be more than
Objection,
willing.
Your Honor. This is actually more of a statement. He needs to ask specific questions of my client.
Well, I'm getting to that part. I want to ask why she had lied to the court of my arrival to that place and the leaving of my vehicle, knowing that it was not supposed to leave. She sent me out of that house with the children.
All right, well, you're kind of half I haven't sworn you in. Ms. Lattin is the witness right now. She's testified. You can ask her questions that you have regarding this matter. I'll give you a chance to testify, don't worry.
Yeah.
But right now is your opportunity to ask her questions as she's the current witness.
Okay. I have submitted to the drug screen, and knowing that with a place to live and everything, or so I could see the kids, they'd be supervised visits. Still, can I see them? In the order, it says that the plaintiff's mother shall have extended parenting time with the minor children of the parties until further order of the court. I am currently sitting in my parents' house, and that is where everything would reside.
Is there a question in there for Ms. Lattin? I mean, it sounds like you're asking.
Can I see the children here? It was my question.
Okay.
I think that's the question to you, Miss Lattin. He's asking you a question.
I would like Richard to have the necessary things in order before he is able to see the kids. So having a place to stay is great. However, his parents and him, with him being evicted, they have been arguing nonstop. I do not feel that his parents' house is a good environment for the children to be in. There's been conflict. The cops have been called. There's been multiple incidents where I have had to leave my home and go pick up my children because Richard and his parents are arguing enough that the cops are being called.
The cops have been called.
All right, hold
As
on.
well
I don't
as-
want you to argue with her.
I'm not arguing.
Testify. Just ask her a question.
The cops have been called at her house as well, and assault too.
You're testifying now.
Yeah.
Testify.
How about the marijuana smell and current drug use for that in my kids' home with their mother for ashes on top of trash cans? There's a lot of drug use down there, but none of it is ever talked about. Can some of that be used as to stay away from my children?
You don't know that they're. Go ahead, Ms. Lattin.
I am confused. I
think he's asking if you smoke marijuana.
Marijuana is used, however, it is not used in front of the children, nor is it used in the home while the children are present.
have a question if I'm allowed.
No, you're not.
You're not, sir.
Yeah. I would imagine not.
Mr. Lattin, do you have any other questions for Ms. Lattin?
Has the beating of my son stopped? He would complain to me several times that his mom has smacked him in the head. I'm, I guess, really concerned with my son and how he is doing, because both kids have a very, very emotional attachment to me. I took care of them for the last 2.5 years more than their mother had did up until this point. I've seen them every day. I had them every night, except for they'd go with their mom here or there. I even take care of their newborn baby brother at the house, and I brought him home from the hospital as well. So I've just got a lot of concerns on the safety of my children too.
Okay, then you should file a motion regarding custody or parenting time and voice those concerns. I can only deal with things that have been pled, okay? So let's cut to the chase here. Ms. Lattin, your motion said that Mr. Lattin had been evicted. He had no place to do his parenting time. There's a PPO between him and, I guess,
His
parent,
father. Who's
and
sitting-
that he was using drugs, okay? These other things about maybe some arguments in the house or some stuff like that, that's not in your motion. I can't really base a decision on that today. Mr. Lattin, you said you had a drug test there. What do you got?
I had to submit to a hair follicle test is what the order had issued, and I had done that the other day, and I'm currently waiting the results. It was at
Accurate screen?
Yep, AccuScreen in White Cloud. I paid $160 for that, and I talked to Michelle the other day. So she said if I do not get a phone call, I pass, and they'll send you guys the results.
All right, Ms. Korndike, you haven't gotten the results yet, or?
No, I have not, Your Honor, and
Yes.
I don't think that we should be allowing parenting time until that drug screen comes back.
Well, I thought you said you had a drug test in your hand there, sir.
I have the receipt for the payment for it.
Oh, okay. So what about you being evicted from your parents' house? What's going on there?
What was going
Let me
on
swear you
there?
into, let me swear you into it, just so we're doing this. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, where are you living now?
I'm currently at my parents' house.
You're there right now, but where are you living? Where do you sleep? Where do you
I've
live?
been living here since this past weekend.
Okay. Did you move out for a while?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
What led to that?
The back and forth between my kids' home and here, there was a lot of arguments. There was a lot of her and my mom. It wasn't so much my mom's fault. It was her playing my mom and then sending me something else in return, which led me and my mom to argue. And when we finally got things straight and the facts straight, it was more we came together to help each other, not be so much against each other.
So is there a PPO, a personal protection order between you and your dad?
It's not saying that I cannot be here, but there is one.
What does it say?
I do not have that order in front of me, sir, but as far as I'm aware, it says that there's no fighting or arguing at the homestead.
Doesn't say you can't be within so many feet or whatever?
No,
You can't be on property owned by him?
it doesn't say that.
Oh, all right.
May I speak?
Who's that?
Kaylin.
Oh, no, hold on. So you did the drug test, waiting on the results. There is a PPO, but it doesn't prohibit you from being together, okay. And you were evicted or you were asked to leave, but now you're back?
Yes,
All right. And your dad's right there with you?
yes, sir.
All right, let me see him too.
Okay.
Hi, sir, what's your name?
Richard Lattin.
Okay, and you're the other Richard Lattin's dad?
Correct.
Okay, and he was living at your house for some period of time?
Correct.
Moved out for a bit,
Yep.
but now he's back?
Correct.
Able to live there for the foreseeable future?
For the time being, until he gets his own place, yes.
Okay. And what led you to file for the PPO?
There was a lot of arguing going on, and I didn't want any violence, arguing, or any of that, and that's what the PPO states.
All right, it doesn't prevent you from being together though?
No, it does not.
And okay, so he's got a place to live. His basic needs are met at your house. He has a place to sleep and food to eat and stuff like that.
Yes.
Do you know if your son is working?
He is currently searching for employment.
Does he have a vehicle? A
Not
working-
right at the time.
Okay.
We're working on getting a car fixed for him.
Before all this went down, your son and Mrs. Ladden were splitting time equally with the child, right? Or the children, is that right?
Well, not necessarily equally. They were here more than not. They were here quite a bit.
All right, well, on paper, they were supposed to have 5 days with one, 5
On
days with the
paper.
other. And then alternate
Paper, they
weekends?
were, yes.
Okay. So do you have a pretty strong bond with your grandchildren then?
Yes.
If it came down to it, who would you put first, your son or your grandkids, if they were there and there was some kind of issue?
My grandkids.
Okay. Does anybody else live in the home besides you and your son?
My wife.
Oh, okay. So you have a strong bond with the grandkids too?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is she on board with him moving back in?
Yes.
All right. You got any concerns about your son using illegal drugs?
I believe he is getting his life straightened around. As far as the drugs go from the past, and he has submitted to a drug test, and we're about to find out. I believe him, other than if the test comes back that he's not telling the truth.
So let's say worst case scenario, it comes back positive for something you're not happy with, what's gonna happen with his living arrangements?
If it comes back that he's positive for drugs, we're gonna talk about getting into rehabilitation.
Oh, okay. Okay, he'll still be able to stay there though until
Yes,
that? Okay,
because I am committed to getting him rehabilitated.
okay, all right, I appreciate that. Ms. Korndike, do you have any questions for the elder Mr. Ladden here?
Yes, please. What county is the PPO out of?
Oceana.
And when did you file that PPO?
I can't give you the specific date unless I go and obtain
That's
that
fine.
from my safe.
Could you give me a month and year, roughly?
It was just this last fall, yes. I believe it was either September or October. I'm not sure. I can go and get that out of my safe if you would like.
And was there ever a period of time where you guys were supposed to not have contact?
No,
Did your son leave your home prior to the PPO or after the PPO?
it was afterwards. He was here during it. It was just to not have violence or arguing or fighting.
Did that sort of behavior happen in front of the children?
No,
Has that behavior happened since he's moved back in with you?
no, absolutely not.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, I guess I have one more. Sir, before this order was entered, this is Friday, would Mr. Ladden, your son, have had parenting time this weekend, or would it have been next weekend?
I'm not sure of the schedule.
Parenting time, Your Honor, was very hard to keep track of because I had them every day for the past, 2.5 years since it started.
You had what?
Except for, I had the kids just about every day for the past 2.5 years since it started, except for when they would go with their mom a night, they'd come back 3 hours later.
So she said you had like a 5-day, 5-day, 2-day, 2-day schedule. You weren't
I
doing
know
it?
that, Your Honor. And in the past, I've been saying that I've had the kids more, and I know you've told me to put in a motion the last time me and you talked, and I had tried that, and it didn't get to you guys in time, or it didn't go through to you guys, something like that. But I had put it in the mail for you guys. She wasn't at the last 2 proceedings with you and I as well, so you said that you couldn't take my word for it, unfortunately.
Well,
So-
was it a support hearing?
Yes.
It was for,
Yeah, so I can't go change in custody of the support
No,
hearing if
no,
it doesn't show
I
up.
know. All I'm stating, Your Honor, is in the past, it's been stated that the kids have been with me way more than they have seen their mother.
All right.
I picked them up from school when they're sick. I take care of them when they're sick.
All right, well, you tell me. I mean, is the test gonna be positive or negative?
It should be negative, sir.
Should be.
Should is a bit vague.
What do you mean by should? As
I mean-
vague. I haven't
you're
done anything, so why would it be positive?
Okay, so then what you mean is it will be negative.
No, it will absolutely be negative.
Okay, well, you said should. That's raised my
Okay.
eyebrow. That's why I asked that question, because sometimes people say, well, I hope it's negative, or it should
Because
be
I was
negative, or
willing-
might be negative. That tells me that there's a possibility out there that it might not be.
For the record, I was also willing and got this done before the proceeding. I didn't wait for the 14 days either.
Oh, well, that's good. But we don't have the results yet, so I can't, all right. Ms. Korndike, anything else?
Just a closing statement, Your Honor.
All right, the client had wanted to say something at one point.
Oh, yes. Ms. Lattin, do you have anything further?
My concern with allowing Richard parenting time is that he has been evicted from his parents' house. Him and his father have fought enough that there is a PPO between them. I do not believe his parents' house is a good environment for the children to be at. This is why I have taken the steps I have, because I have went over and picked the kids up in front of 3 screaming adults with every neighbor on the block watching as I'm sitting in the middle of the road trying to get my children in the car, and they're screaming at each other. So unfortunately,
Again, that's not part of your motion, and you've known about the PPO for some period of time. You didn't file your ex parte motion when the PPO was entered.
correct. The ex parte motion was ordered because he was told that he was not allowed to be at his parents', and now this week he's allowed to be at his parents'. My concern is next week this will change again.
I spent all last week with my kids here at my parents' from the day after they had got picked up by your father on the side of the road. I've been here every day. I came here later that night even. I've had the kids That was a Tuesday. I had him Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday up until the officer and you came to the house, and there was no problems. Not
I
even that.
allowed you to exercise your parenting time.
You told me when I asked for clothes for the kids, because I took all my clothes from my parents' house down there, and my parents also bought clothes for you down there in Valentine's cards and this and that. You told me to go to the dollar store to get clothes, and then you called me 10 times after that to pick up a bag of clothes on the porch that only had 2 pairs of socks, a pair of shorts, and a shirt in it.
And a pair of pajamas and pull-up and everything the children needed for the evening because you
Not in the
could not
bag.
supply
I'm
it.
not gonna get into this minutia at an ex parte hearing. Ex parte motion can only be granted if irreparable harm will occur. And I mean, talking about not having.
There's no harm gonna occur here, sir. There's plenty of food and
All right,
everything.
well, when they give you any indication when you get those drug test results?
They said within 24 hours, I should have a phone call. If I don't have a phone call, then it's passed. Don't worry about it. The results will get sent to you guys. It's supposed to be sent to a lab in Ohio, I believe. Let's see, her name is Michelle. It's stated. So.
What did you get it done?
Yesterday, let's see, at time of collection, it says was 3:25, and I was there at 2:30, 2:45.
Oh, so you might get the results yet today through a phone call?
Yeah, if it's a fail, I'll have the call results, but otherwise she said they will not call me if it's passed. So far, I have not been called.
But she definitely said within 24 hours if it was, you would know one way or the other? If you
Because the
didn't
mail,
call?
they were going out in the mail as after I was done, so.
Well, it's almost 2, so that's like another couple hours before.
I'd really love to see my children today. We're very close to each other and everything's fine here for them.
Yeah, but the order says you gotta do that drug test. I appreciate you got it done early. I mean, that'll help.
It also says that the plaintiff's mother shall have extended parenting time with the minor children of the parties until further order of the court.
Yeah, I know. But I wouldn't feel right changing things until that other condition has been met, that being the drug test.
Well, so far, my mom has not even been able to see the kids because she was told that she could have them, and then Caitlin would not let them come.
No, Kaylin is the plaintiff mother, not your mother.
Okay.
The plaintiff mother is Kaylin Latin. She has
Alright.
extended parenting time until further order of the court, not your mom. That would say the maternal grandmother or paternal grandmother, or it might name her by name, but she doesn't have any rights in this case.
Because all my supervised visits in the past were supposed to be here.
Well, I know that.
And there's cameras. I mean, I don't know what more of a safe environment you could have them in.
I guess all I'd be really willing to do is maybe go back on the record at 3:30 or something. If you can get Michelle Lafonzi from the place to chime in and testify to verify what she tells you.
Your Honor, I won't be available. I have Judge Wickens' retirement party.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I'm not going to be available the rest of the afternoon.
You guys are going to have the results regardless. And I just want to see my children. They're here with their grandparents. I mean, there's nothing going to happen to them.
They'll come to the front of the court. They don't come straight to me. What about Monday at 4?
I believe somebody in my office will be available, Your Honor. Let me just double check really quick.
This is really late notice from my work as well, but I will accommodate as needed.
Monday at 4. Do you work on Monday, ma'am?
Mm-hmm. I work I have Tuesday as my day off. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I am normally anywhere from 11 to 5:30 for hours.
You know, what day works for you then if Monday doesn't?
Tuesday is my day off.
Oh,
Tuesday is also Richard's birthday, so I believe he may want this adjourned before then so he can see the children if that's possible. I'm not opposed to him continuing to see the children, but I want to know that he is not using meth.
I've been more than willing to obtain the drug testing by actual court ruling for AccuScreen. It's not no personal test. It's not no test I can take here or somebody can just quick give me to give the court. This is actually for the court. And with that, I mean, that was completely voluntarily for me to get it done within the 14 days. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm just trying to see my kids. I see my kids absolutely almost every day forever. We have a complete bond together, them to me and me to them. All I do is want to see my children. And in the best interest of the children, right now, they're being kept away because of you guys waiting on a drug screen for me. What about a drug screen for the mother and the chronic marijuana use? Isn't it against the law to drive intoxicated or drive under the influence per se? And it takes 8 hours in a detox tank for the county if you sit for marijuana. So therefore, if you smoke marijuana 8 hours later, you drive to work, that's under the influence, whether it's with the children going to school or not school, it's still in the home, ashes, smell. I mean, I'm not doing anything.
Sir, if you have evidence she's violated the law as far as the use of marijuana,
I have
or some other substance, then
messages, videos.
Don't interrupt me. Just listen. File your own motion. We're not here on your motion today. We're here on hers. You understand that?
I know, but so far nobody listens to me.
Well, I'm listening to you, but I don't have the drug test results. I'm trying to get this reset as quickly as possible. In the little slivers of time that I have on my calendar, but because I don't want it to drag on. If you're in fact negative, if you're negative, then I'll probably dismiss the motion. You got a place to live and you're negative for that. Those were the two things that were in the motion. Okay.
Correct.
I'll dismiss the motion. It'll go back to what it was, but I got to have those results before I can do that. The judge's order specifically is conditioned on that. Okay. So
Okay.
if you don't have the results right now, and
so what more can I do for the court size? So I
you
can
don't
see
need to do anything else. All you need to do, you got a place to live and pass that drug test and I'm good.
Okay.
You don't need to do another thing. Okay. That's what she pled in her motion. Got it?
Okay.
All right. I'll see you Monday at 4. Hopefully you have the results by then. If you don't get a call, instead of just assuming you're negative, which, you know, is a reasonable assumption, I guess, under the circumstances, try to get Michelle LaFonzi just to chime in briefly to testify that you were negative.
Okay.
All right. She knows how to log into my Zoom. She's testified in front of me before.
Okay. Now for Monday at 4 to log in for Zoom, what should be the numbers?
Same number.
Same numbers? Okay.
Yep. Doesn't change.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, unless you go in front of somebody else, but if you come in front of me, it's that number.
My birthday is the 31st as well. I'm not sure if it was correct on Tuesday. It might be on Monday. So 27th is today is Friday, the 8th, 9th. So it was Tuesday. So yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. All right. We're all set for now. I'll see you guys Monday at 4.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I probably won't have time. I'll have time to do the order, but it's probably not going to get to you by then. So you're not going to have a piece of paper telling you Monday at 4. Just that's what we're planning on.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, 2025-7126. Kaylin Ladden and Richard Ladden both are here via Zoom. Ms. Korndike's here on behalf of the plaintiff, and this was the date and time that was set aside to resume this matter. We began last week with an expedited hearing after an ex parte order was entered. We were awaiting some determination of the defendant's hair follicle drug test. I had indicated that it might be best to have Ms. LaFonzi from Accurate Screen testify. I guess, sir, did you get that drug test back?
No, and she said that when I asked her about coming on to Zoom, she said that they don't do that either. She said that they just received it now where their test facility is, so I'm still waiting.
She's testified numerous times in front of me. I don't know why this would be any different.
I could play you my phone call with her, but that's all I've got.
So, she had no indication of whether it was positive or negative. Did you get that phone call within 24 hours the other day?
No. She said that it hasn't been tested yet, so they just received it at their facility. So I asked her about coming on to Zoom. She said they don't do that. I've got my phone calls, all of my phone calls, which are recorded, so I could play you that if I have to.
I don't know, I guess we'll have to adjourn it again then. Did she give you any indication of when it might be ready?
No, she did not. Whenever they get to my case to test, I would assume.
Well, yeah, but she told you you're gonna get a phone call in 24 hours or not.
I know.
Did you ask her if it was positive or not? Did she didn't have?
She said they haven't even tested it yet. They just shows received.
Did you ask her why she told you you'd get a call within 24 hours with a yay or a nay?
No, I did not, but I know I can't make somebody do their job. Otherwise, I'd be the one that does their job, not them. And it's Monday, so I mean, everybody's got obstacles they also have to get past, so.
My point in asking is if she does a hair follicle and she has to send it off to the lab for any kind of determination.
Correct.
You're telling me she told you you'd get a call within 24 hours. That's obviously not going to happen within 24 hours.
If it was a fail, I would have a call within 24
Well,
hours.
how would you know either way if it's not been tested?
Because when I called her today, she looked in her computer and it showed that they just received it.
How does she send it to them?
By mail.
Okay, so that's going to take more than 24 hours.
Okay. All I know is what I was told.
Okay, but you didn't ask her, why did you tell me 24 hours if you had to mail it and you knew that you wouldn't have any kind of answer within 24 hours?
Either way, that wouldn't change the outcome, sir.
Well, the point is you told me you'd have an answer in 24 hours. We weren't quite at 24 hours the other day. Now we are.
What I said is that they should have it tested, that the results could come back within 24 hours. And I said, if I get a phone call, then it's a fail. If I do not, because she told me not to call back, that they'd call me with the results. If it was a fail, then it'd go for further testing because it could be a false positive or not. I haven't received any calls so far. I've done everything that I'm supposed to be doing. I'm still in the same house. Everything's fine. I still don't know anything about my kids. The last time I seen them, they were taken by me from a cop in Miss Latin, bawling, holding me, crying for their dad, which was more traumatic and hurtful for them than any of this keeps dragging on. I could play you my phone call to Miss Michelle if you would like.
No, I guess I believe you. I just wonder why you were told 24 hours if that's an impossible.
Sir, if I could have the results for you right now, I would give them to you way up front and we wouldn't be trying to figure this out.
Yep, I get it.
Because right now, all this has done is waste everybody's time.
Yeah, Ms. Korndike, what do you want to do?
Well, I want those results before we go forward. My concern is we didn't actually see the document that said he took the test. So, and I can't really see that on the computer. I guess hair follicles do take longer than 24 hours, so I don't know why Michelle would have said that. Also, she testifies all the time. I don't know why she would say that either. So I'm a little bit concerned in this case here, Your Honor, that he's not being truthful.
All
I
right.
would love to put on the record my phone call.
Well,
Could I let you guys listen to that?
sure, why not?
Okay. Because you guys don't want to believe me, and I mean, I can't.
I believe you. it's a frustrating situation. If there's no way to have the answer in 24 hours, that she would tell you that she could have it in 24 hours. And I'm not saying you're lying to me. I just.
I came in for a test this last week.
Can you guys hear that at all?
Thursday, and I had court on Friday. I was just curious if you guys got my test results back.
Okay. Who sent you in?
It was for the court, for Nuevo County Court.
Oh, no, I don't have the results yet.
Okay.
All right.
Because they're they moved everything till today again.
It was the 26th when you came in. Let me just see. I can look and see if it's in testing still, because the results haven't come through. I'm sure they've received it and it's in testing. Let me look.
Okay.
Would you say they moved your court date?
Well, we had a court, let's see, it was Mike, the mediator guy, asked us to go back on the record today because we were just waiting for results, I guess. And he wanted me to call you again. Okay.
They're not in. They're not in yet. It doesn't even show that they've. Let me see. It would have gone out. You came in on the 26th. 26th was Thursday. So, yeah, it doesn't even show that it's in testing. They're probably still receiving it.
Okay. Have you guys ever been asked to go or to do the Zoom part by anybody for them? I didn't think so either.
I don't do that.
Okay, because he asked me to ask that too. So that's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
That's what I got.
All right. Well, that's fine. And that's a little different. You just said, have you ever been asked to do the Zoom part? That doesn't necessarily, I mean, she could show up and testify in person. She's right down the road. So
Right.
maybe she doesn't have access to Zoom. I don't know, but I don't know that it was real clear what you were asking.
Everybody has access to Zoom. I mean, you
Well,
can
not
even call a
everybody,
number.
not everybody uses it. What I mean is you didn't really ask her, can you testify on my behalf? Or can you testify in the, you said, can you do the Zoom part? That's what you said. And that's not really the same thing. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll reconvene on Friday at 1:15. We can't really do much without the drug test results. Ma'am, I know you might have to work, but I'm sorry. We work the same hours, I guess. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the busiest time of the day right now, and I have my colleagues short-staffed.
Okay, well, you can get back to work right now. So.
Thank you. Friday at 1:15, you said?
Yep. Take up file 2025-7126. The matter of Kaylin Latin and Richard Latin. And this was the date and time set for hearing in this matter. It was reset from Monday till today at 1:15 so that the results of a hair follicle drug test could be considered in making a decision in this matter. The plaintiff is here with her lawyer, Ms. Korndike. The defendant has not appeared here in court or in the Zoom meeting room. Although the notice was given on the record, I guess I will acknowledge that maybe it wasn't received in the mail, but I think I was pretty clear Friday at 1:15 and he was there for that. So I'm assuming that he was in fact aware of the hearing, but has for some reason chosen not to appear. I do have the drug test results. Ms. Korndike, do you get a copy of those results?
I did not get a copy of those results, Your Honor. However, I did hear from my client and he did indicate that he was positive.
You heard from your client's mom, right?
Yes, but he
Yeah.
had called my client and said that he was positive.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I have no idea what he's positive for, but I had
Yeah.
a feeling he wouldn't appear today.
Well, I guess in some instances, I would wait until someone made a motion to introduce an exhibit, but I think it was anticipated that the court would consider the drug test results when they were done, so I didn't, so they were made available, and yeah, it indicates that he was positive for methamphetamine. And negative for amphetamine, cocaine, opiates, phencyclidine, and THC. However, positive for methamphetamine at 4,231 picograms per milligram.
That's pretty recent usage, correct?
Well, it's a hair follicle, so I don't know.
Okay.
It does indicate, I mean, that's 8 times the cutoff, 8 plus
Okay.
times the cutoff, so.
Okay.
It may not indicate recent use because they take about 1.5 inches of hair, which goes back about 90 days of growth. And and they like melt the hair down and then they get something out, they get it out of it. But I don't know that
Correct.
would indicate heavier use. It indicates heavy use, I think, based on that number, but I don't know if it indicates recent use or not. So
Okay.
anyway. So we're faced with that. I guess, Ms. Korndike, your client's request was to simply suspend parenting time in the motion. And the parenting time was in fact suspended in the ex parte order leading up to the hearing. It sounded like there wasn't a problem with the grandparents having the child at some point, but I don't know what the defendant's plan is going to be. I know his dad said he could move back in, but I said, well, what if he's positive? And his dad made it pretty clear that he was going to be requiring some kind of treatment. I don't know if he's patient or otherwise by saying that. I don't want to speculate, but I don't know if based on this, A, he'll have a place to live, B, he'll be going to some inpatient treatment, C, he'll be just moving on and carrying on business as usual. But
Yeah,
For the-
let me talk. That's our concern as well, Your Honor. Actually, immediately prior to having the first hearing in this case, on the 24th, my client received a text message from defendant's mother saying that he was kicked out and wasn't living there, and then all of a suddenly was there. So we don't think that he's actually really living with his parents, that maybe they just let him say that for the purposes of the hearing. But I saw the text message. It was very clear. They evicted him on the 24th of this month, and then suddenly he was there back again. So I don't think that that's a serious living situation. And obviously he was doing parenting time in my client's home for a while before we even filed this. Obviously that's not going to be an option anymore because she suspects he was utilizing drugs in her home. So we're going to ask that this remains supervised until he can provide proof of residency.
supervised?
I'm sorry, suspended. Suspended was the word I meant to use there, Your Honor. Proof of a stable living environment and negative drug screens.
A job.
Well, a job is, but at least, a home or a place and negative, because we can't have meth around children at all. And that's a very, very, very high. I was kind of shocked that it was that high.
All right. Well, he's not here to defend himself, and the drug test speaks for itself. I think I told him the other day when he answered my question, he should be negative. That told him that really kind of told me what the test results were going to be. At this point, without his input and based on that drug test result and the plaintiff's request for relief, Mr. Lattin's parenting time would be suspended till further order of the court. Ma'am, that means he just doesn't have the right to have the kids based on a court order. That does not mean that you have to absolutely cut off all contact. If the two of you can work out some arrangement for circumstances with conditions that you feel are appropriate, then just because he doesn't have the right to have parenting time doesn't mean that you have to deny him parenting time if you request for it. If you can work out a suitable supervisor, a time, a place, and all that kind of stuff, you're certainly welcome outside of that order to allow him time with the children, but because of this drug issue, you're not absolutely required to, okay?
Okay, I appreciate that.
All right, and
So-
likewise with the grandparents, if you're comfortable with them seeing the child or children, that's okay too, but they don't have rights of parenting time either under this order, and it would basically be up to you to act reasonably and in the best interest of your children in making those determinations.
Thank you.
I'll do a drug testing order too, so you can request that he be drug tested at any time. The way that works is they're good for a year.
Okay.
I'll check a urine-based test and hair follicle, so you can request one or the other.
Okay.
The way that works is you would pay for it if you request it. And if he's negative, then you've got your answer and you're out the money, I guess. But
Okay.
if he's positive, then I guess that gives you further information going forward, but then he's also required to reimburse you for the cost of the test.
Okay.
All right. I guess that addresses the issues that were set for today. Is there anything else?
No, Your
Does-
Honor.
Does this, with me now having full custody of the children, does this go towards the support, or will we be doing another hearing for that?
Well, let's see. What was support based on? Was it based on 50 or?
Yes, it was, correct. It was based on 50-50.
So is he still ordered to pay you the $715? No.
He's ordered, it's 66.26 a week. I was seeing when he was paying regularly and had a job. And I know he pays a little bit more to the state of Michigan, but I was told that he did find a job. Whether or not that is to be of truth, I am unsure. I sure hope he missed today's hearing because of that and not other reasons.
So does that order go back to 2021, June of 2021, the one you were referencing?
I believe so. He was paying full support until we settled on the 50-50.
Okay, I see that, because yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, I originally took full custody with an ex parte order in the beginning as well. And then when we divorced, we agreed on the 50-50 and then child support was set from there.
all right. It looks like it was based on 162 overnights for him, not 182, but
Okay.
it was $329 a month. That might come out to 66 a week. I'm not sure.
That sounds about right, I think.
About 75 a month, 76 a month, but and then the ordinary medical. So maybe without him here though, without knowing what his income might be, I'll refer that to the front of the court. So they'll file a separate motion to address that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
That is all I have for today.
All right, very well. I'll do those orders or that order and you'll both orders. One will be on a traditional order, the other one will be on its own drug testing order form. Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
therefore, I'll